How do your mornings usually begin? With calm or with chaos? Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the very first episode of the Becoming You podcast. I'm Pooja Chhabria, your fellow traveler on this journey of becoming who you are always meant to be. And I'm so excited that you are here. Today, we are diving into a theme that has the power to shape not just your day, but your life: morning routines. We hear about them all the time, but let's be real. The whole idea can feel like just another chore, right? Another thing to do on an already packed to do list. But what if we looked at it differently? Not as a strict set of rules, but as your secret weapon, a tool that you create to truly own your own day. Picture this: you wake up later than planned, grab a phone, rush through brushing your teeth, skip breakfast, maybe snap at someone at home, and suddenly you're in traffic, already feeling behind. The whole day feels chaotic, scattered, and overwhelmed. That's what I call a reactive morning. One that hijacks your energy before you even had the chance to choose how you want to feel during the day. Now imagine a different start. You wake up a little earlier, sip some warm water, stretch, journal, or simply sit in silence. You set the intention for the day. You're calmer, more grounded, and everything flows with ease. That, my dear friend, is the power of morning routines. It's usually just an intention setting, a personal, powerful practice that allows you to begin your day from your inner being instead of being pulled by the world. Research even shows that a simple act of setting your morning routine can reduce stress, increase your focus, and build momentum for the rest of the day. It's really about shifting from autopilot to awareness. And because this subject is so close to my heart, I've invited 6 incredible fellow coaches, my amazing batchmates from my coaching certification program. Each one brings not only expertise, but deep authenticity in how they live and serve. First up, we have Dikshanya, a self love coach with a background in psychology and journalism, helping people embrace self love as a foundation for confidence and growth. Alongside her, we have Gina Savio, the founder of Inner Alchemy Coaching, supporting people ready to step out of invisibility and rebuild deep self worth through authentic living. We have Neha Gupta, a corporate professional turned life and mindset coach, helping people break free from self doubt, gain clarity, and take confident action. We also have amongst us Dr. Shreya, a doctor and gold medalist and founder of Renara, the House of Healing, guiding women to release their inner emotional blocks and align with their highest potential. We have with us Shubhangi, author and life and parenting coach, creating sacred spaces for individuals and parents to discover inner strength and embrace self love. And last but not the least, we have Melanie, founder of Val Life, valued, awakened, limitless, whose journey from L&D leader to conscious parenting coach inspires others to move from chaos to clarity and self doubt to deep connection. I'm so grateful to have you all here. Together, we'll challenge some of the misconceptions that morning routines have to be rigid or extreme and explore how to personalize and sustain them. So, with that in mind, let's begin our roundtable. You know, as coaches, we always talk about the power of intention. Let's start there. What's the deeper why behind your morning routine? And if you have to just pick one non negotiable ritual, that one anchor that sets the tone for your day, what would it be? Can we start with Deekshanya?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you have rightly mentioned, our morning routine sets the tone for the day. For me personally, words of affirmation is my love language. I incorporate it in my daily routine and stand before the mirror and recite my affirmations. So, that is what exactly gives me a powerful start for the day. It's a non negotiable for me. And I would love to know what Gina's non negotiable is.
Thank you, Dikshanya. Yeah, for me, why I indulge in a morning routine is because at the start of the day, I need to connect with myself. And I find my morning routine helps me do that. And my non-negotiables would be I I like to do a morning meditation to kind of ground myself. And also, I like to get ready for the day because that way I'm starting my day powerfully. Neha, what about you? How do you start your day and what's your non-negotiable?
Thanks for sharing, Gina. And firstly, a big thank you to Pooja for putting this together and a lovely, warm welcome. For me, my deeper why is truly starting my day with a lot of calmness and the sense of, clarity. And only when my mind is calm in the morning can I feel both of this. So, like Gina said, for me, my non negotiable is a guided 15-minute meditation. Whatever it may be, I wouldn't miss that. And just 5 minutes of me time, sipping my cup of coffee in the balcony or just in my cozy corner, I wouldn't ever let go of these two. And yes, I would love to hear from Dr. Shreya.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Neha. So, my deeper why is my alignment. So, as a doctor, as a healer, I have seen that how being dysregulated affects my ability to serve or to care to my patients, to my family, to ourselves. So, my morning routine is a simplest way I bring myself back into my alignment. And it is how I move from being reactive to intentional. So my non-negotiable is like what also Neha said, like my meditation and chanting. So even if it is for the 10 minutes, if it is a busy morning, if I make sure that I do it every day. So when I meditate, I release my leftover worries, and if I miss it, I feel like I'm scattered, right? So when I do it, I my ability to take decisions, my tone with my daughter or my clinical work, my coaching, all comes to the same place. So it is just like that is why I protect it like just an appointment with my highest self. So this is my non-negotiable. Yeah, I want to love to hear from Shubhangi.
Thank you, Dr. Shreya. And it is really nice for this hearing from every one of all of you. So my deeper why is I notice myself if my day is not planned and my morning routine if is not set, I'm doing multiple things in a whole day, and at the end of the day, I feel like I did nothing and the full day waste. So when I set my morning routine, I felt very aligned with myself, with my work, and fulfillment in my life. And my non-negotiable, I start with my day with the Lord Krishna name, and afterwards deep breathing. It sets my tone for a whole day, and this is a grounding to become involved with the other world activities. So I would love to hear from Velani.
Thanks, Shubangi. Thanks, Pooja, for having us over and arranging this. For me, my why, like Gina said, is my alignment. And what it really does, it basically anchors me down for the entire day. So I find, I call it a date with myself and a date with my God, because it just helps me connect with my true inner self. And the moment I am connected with my inner self, I'm connected with my God, who's the source of my being. Uh, it just gives me so much of focus. Like, we were talking earlier, where we focus is where our energy will go. And I believe that my morning routine of just being with myself in stillness gives me the power to do all the things that the day kind of throws at us, as we get into the day.
Listening to all your shares, one truth really stands out. The why behind our mornings is deeply personal, whether it's clarity, whether it's connection or grounding. For me, my why is alignment. I've noticed that if I start the day scattered, I carry that scattered energy into the conversations and decisions that I make. But when I start with stillness, everything shifts. For me, it's the vortex breathing that I do in the morning, followed by Om chanting. And then I do a short visualization while holding a glass of water. I always end by thanking the universe as if what I desire has already arrived. It's a simple sequence, but it roots me in gratitude, presence, and possibility. And I realize it's not about how long the ritual takes. Even 10 minutes transforms the way I show up. That's the real gift of a morning routine. It becomes less about doing and more about being. And from the being, everything flows with greater ease. So now let's move on to the practical side of things. All right, so let's get a little more hands on. Beyond the philosophy, what's the one specific habit from your routine for health or mindfulness or productivity that has the biggest impact on your day? So, Dikshanya, would you like to go?
Yes, thank you so much. For me, one of the most powerful thing I do is called as future pacing. Future pacing is nothing but I write down what are the three important tasks for the day, and I decide how I want to feel during the task. Maybe it's a keynote I have to deliver, so I want to feel powerful at that time. I set the intention, and with the intention, I visualize how powerful I feel when I deliver the keynote. So this has been a game changer for me and has set the tone for the beautiful task that I have to do. So this is it. And how about you, Dina?
Thanks, Dikshanya. For me, I think journaling is one of those activities which kind of grounds me for the rest of the day. Journaling what I have to be grateful about from the previous day, uh, from the morning, just sitting down in my balcony and watching nature, being grateful for being so close to nature, being in a very crowded city, but having nature so close at hand. Yes, there are a lot of things that we need to be grateful about. So, yeah, I would say journaling is also an important part of my morning routine. Neha, what about you?
So after I spend some time with myself, doing my meditation and just feeling that sense of calm, I'm somebody who likes to plan my day very, very meticulously. So I start with planning my to-do list, but also, apart from a professional life, we all are running our homes, taking care of our children. So I also plan to the extent of what I need to do for all my responsibilities, so that I'm not focusing on one and missing out on the other. And if I don't plan this down and make my top priorities in each category of life, I feel like a headless chicken running around all day. So, yeah, this is something that's super powerful, and it's really been impactful. I can see good results. I would love to know what you think, Shreya.
Yeah, thank you, Neha. So yes, I start my morning by simply just sipping up the warm water uh, when I wake up, and then I do some morning rituals. Like I have also started my morning energizers classes. So in there, where I feel gratitude. I also teach people. I also teach my clients that so to have a gratitude for whatever things you have in your life, and also thank the universe for all the things you desire in your life, and to feel it in your body as if it has already been arrived or already been achieved. Because the feelings is like a magnet. When you feel, no, words don't manifest, no, feelings manifest. When you feel in it your body that, oh, thank you so much, that has already arrived in my body, those are already arrived in my life. So it is just like a magnet, you attract all the abundance in your life. So I do it every day with a short visualization of how I want to see my career, how I want to see my health, my relationships, and in the finance, in the four areas of my life. I do gratitudes in all the four areas of my life and feel as if I am living my best life. Yes, I stand, then I start with a stead of kind of intention for the day, like a small simple intention how I want to lead my day today. I always say to myself, though, I am ready to create my best life today, I'm ready to create like the most amazing day today. So I set my intention towards the day, and it's just fills me up with so much of energy to set for the entire day. So yeah, that's it. And I want to hear from the Shubhangi what she has to say.
Yes. So I want to add here, like your Dr. Shreya said, ki gratitude. So after taking a few deep breaths, I just pay the gratitude to the universe, and that is adding value in my life. And sometimes most of the people feel ki gratitude is not easy because we have the challenging situation in our life. So that time I choose to do the comparison gratitude, because so many people faces the different kinds of problem, and our problem is so just a small thing. So that type of a gratitude helped me sometimes. And after that, I choose to sit in a meditation, which is I specifically work on my chakras in the very small short time meditation I do immediately in the bed itself. And afterwards, I plan my day, and I understand what is the main things I'm planning to do today, and I make sure that I will complete it, because it's like a immediately after waking up in a 15 minutes, within a 15 minutes I plan my whole day. I set myself a intention and grounding myself. So my whole day is I have a complete energy, intention, and the fulfillment at the end I will get from that. So what about you, Eleni?
So basically, I have a couple of things that I do in the morning. And like Shreya said, even before she gets out of her bed, I have a particular meditation, a morning reflection, not a meditation, a morning reflection, which I play, which is a 15-minute morning reflection. And what it does for me, it just, it speaks the truth to me. Sometimes the mind kind of races in with so many things that we're supposed to do, and the challenges of the day, because you as soon as you wake up, you know that you have to meet this deadline or do this particular task, and I'm a taskmaster. So for me, I needed something to reset my mind and bring me back to the truth, and bring me back to who I am and the purpose of my life. So I have this ritual where I don't wake up from my bed. It may sound very, silly, but I don't wake up from my bed till I do my morning reflection, and it just does the magic, and it just sets the tone for me for the day. It just brings me in such a beautiful space. I can't explain, but there is a science to it, that when you are in a space of of your higher self, it releases hormones in your body. And I can tell you that it just awakens something inside of me, where I can feel every part of my body kind of radiating such goodness and such energy. And that is the first thing I do. The second thing that I do is gratitude, because I think just starting the day being grateful to God for all the things, whether big or small, you know, it creates a shift in your mind, which helps you focus in the day as well on the good things. So it not only sets the tone for me for my morning, but also helps me to become more aware, more conscientious of all the good things around me, to appreciate it better, whether it is, a good health today, and my husband travels, so just to see him on the bed next to me is a reason to be grateful for, or to see my kids smile in the morning. So for me, these two things are very important. They are my non-negotiables: my morning reflection and my time of gratitude.
That's lovely. Seems like a gratitude is the common thread for most of us, and rightfully so, because that really sets the tone and makes us feel. It gives us a lot of positivity, makes us feel good about the way we start our day. My other question is that a big challenge for many of us is the phones and the social media. Some mornings I reach for my phone, honestly, before I even get out of bed. This is what I used to do earlier. And I could feel how it shifts my energy. Experts call those first few minutes of solitude strategic solitude, protecting your mornings for yourself. I love how diverse yet simple these habits are of, movement, gratitude, journaling, and prayer. It shows that there is no one size fits all. Each one has their own routine, and each one has something that anchors them. So, what matters is asking what makes me feel most alive and centered. So for me, journaling has been the most transformative. Some mornings it's gratitude, others it's just a messy brain dump, and sometimes it's just one powerful affirmation. But I would like to know from all of you that when we have technology at our fingertips, when we have the phones right next to us, how do you overcome this challenge of not reaching out to the phone? Can we start with Dikshanya?
Yes. So I was very excited to talk about this because I have followed this thing for like 2 years, and it's been absolutely amazing, and it works. Most of our phones have a setting called as digital well-being, and under that setting, if we go, there will be something called as focus mode. So we can set a time for our focus mode. I have set it from night 10:30 p.m. till morning 9 a.m. So even if I have to, it wouldn't just open. So all the time we wouldn't be in control. So instead, we can set a system that would allow us to be in control. So this system has widely, highly helped me to stay in track. And even in the night, I wouldn't reach out because it wouldn't open. And also in the morning, till 9 a.m., I can't reach to it. So it's important to set systems, and this particular feature in the phone allows us to do it very efficiently. So I also recommend all of you to check it out, and that can really be a grateful, amazing thing. Apart from the technology, one more thing is I also like to, play with my inner child. So in our day, one thing I do is I kind of set something that I want to look forward to, like what that wants to bring my inner child out. So it could be, meeting up with a friend. It could be watching my favorite show in the evening. So when we have something as a reward at the end of the day that we can look forward to, that will be amazing. And the things we want to procrastinate, we wouldn't, because we have the reward system set. So if we do that, we'll get this. So this is
Awesome.
what I do, and I would love to know what Gina does.
Yeah, I am pretty old school in that I don't depend on technology to kind of keep me off technology. I I depend on my self-control, purely on my self-control, and more power to you, Dikshanya, for using technology in a smart way. But this works for me. I feel my self control kind of works for me. Till I have finished my meditation, I don't touch my phone or any other gadgets till such a time that I have finished my meditation. So, yes, I do use my self control to kind of stay off technology, and it has worked for me so far. Wasn't the story very long time ago, but now I have been consistent in staying off the phone, of touching my devices before I have finished my meditation. Yeah. Neha, what about you?
This is one thing that is so difficult. Like it sounds so much easy, but I would like to say just being super mindful and consciously keeping the phone away from you. One of the things that I do is like even if I grab my phone to play YouTube for my meditation or something, the earlier tendency used to be like, start scrolling Instagram, or, start checking at work mails. So now I like pick it up and I know exactly what I'm reaching out for. And I've drawn boundaries, right? Like, so I don't attend to work till 10 a.m. So I wouldn't reply to anyone or check my emails. One more thing that really helped me was in Instagram, you have the daily limit. You can set daily limits. So this is just not for the morning, but the entire day, so that you're not mindlessly scrolling. Like I used to probably spend 3 hours on it, and then I brought it down to like one, and now I have a 45-minute caps. It constantly keeps reminding us. So, all these shifts, it's not easy. It will gradually happen. That's what I keep telling all my clients as well. Like, have clear boundaries that, you grab your phone for personal calls in the morning, but then don't attend to work. Scroll Instagram, but have a limit for it. So, it's all about being mindful when using technology. I hope that really makes sense and helps all your listeners, Pooja. And
I'm sure.
yes, uh, Shreya, what would you like to add to this?
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, Neha. And that's a very beautiful advice that you have given. So earlier, what you I used to do that I used to use the physical alarm clock instead of my phone, so it keeps me away from scrolling unnecessarily. Now that no, the mind has trained in such a way that now that I don't need a clock even. So the subconscious mind has trained so much that I usually wake up at the same time every day, so it becomes easy for me now. Earlier it was like I was like a very no attached or like to my phone, but now that I have reduced it to a certain extent, especially in the mornings, I really try not to get indulged in the phone in the early in the morning, because it disrupts the entire day. It disrupts all the peace and no all the concentration. So yeah, I advise this that no, it's better to stay away for certain limits. No, if you can go and you can create certain routines, certain boundaries, and that will be very helpful in the long run. So what about you, Shwangi? What do you have to say?
For me, waking up in the morning, that time the tech issue for not for me. But afterwards, immediately getting freshen up, I'm feeling that urge to use my phone. But then I remember in my childhood, we had been listening radio, Akashvani Pune, and on that there is a Lord Vitthal Abhanga is there in the voice of Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, and it's so beautiful, and Lord Ganesha song. So this is we are using it in our childhood, but not right now. Nowadays, kids are not used to this all those things. So I just downloaded the YouTube playlist for that, and I started to play it. So my child is also now knew about the song, getting devotional songs. So he is also feeling motivating, and something he getting interest in that. So this is something the divine tone sets in the early in the morning, and I'm not touching my phone due to that. And this is something I am feeling ki I'm doing two things. I'm not touching phone and setting a devotional environment at home in the morning. So this is something I'm feeling great with that, and I
That's
would love to
wonderful.
from Melody.
Bangi, that's so interesting. You're trying to do two things with one particular task. That's interesting. So, I had a very strange habit, and it was really a very, it's my conniving mind which would do it. So when I woke up in the morning, I, like Neha said, I would go to the phone to actually attend to maybe the most important message that I was expecting when probably there was no important message, and then land up being on the phone for a couple of hours, right? So I knew that that was a trick my mind was playing, and hence I resorted to the flight mode. So in the night itself, I would put my phone in the flight mode. And there's a common joke in my house. My husband always says that if I meet with an accident or I'm dying, I will never call you because you're never reachable. Because my phone is on flight mode for a couple of hours in the morning till I've reset and come into the day. But I was reading this interesting book, which is a very famous book called Atomic Habits. And it talks about the when you do one thing several times for more than 60 days, it automatically becomes a part of yourself. And I have seen that work beautifully because my monkey mind, which would otherwise prompt me to go and pick up the phone for that maybe one important message that someone has sent me, doesn't happen anymore, and I'm more able to anchor myself in the morning. So that's my way of overcoming technology.
I agree with you. It has taken a lot of practice for me to get into the habit of not touching my phone, which I used to do earlier. For me, I believe that the mornings you give yourself before you give yourself to the world is very sacred. Even the 10 minutes of being in solitude before you pick up your phone, or before you get in rush into the day and the activities and responding to messages, makes all the difference. Just the 10 minutes of you give to yourself, that window of silence is where I meet myself before I meet the world. So for me, that's so important, unlike what I used to do earlier. In fact, like you said, I tend to pretend that, oh, there's something important, and take the phone, and then it's like you're going down that rabbit hole. So I do not touch my phone until I'm seated in my car on my way to my workout. And that also is to speak to my son, who's in the other side of the world, because then the timing is just convenient. So that's the first time I will actually touch my phone and use it, when I'm done with my morning routines and on my way to my workout. Of course, not driving and talking. So, a small but powerful boundary that keeps my morning intentional. But I feel, however intentional we get, however much we may try, there are mornings that don't always perfectly work out. And that's exactly why our next discussion is so important. It's about overcoming challenges. So let's be real. We've all had days where our perfect morning falls apart. What's the challenge you've personally faced, or that you see that your clients are facing, when it comes to sticking to a morning routine? And how do you usually bounce back? Velini, would you like to go?
Yeah, actually, ironically, you brought this up today because just this morning I just jump started my day into getting into a couple of meetings that I had right from morning, and I was very aware the back of my mind that I had not anchored myself, and I felt exhausted midday. I felt completely exhausted, and there are days when it's tough to do the morning routine, anchoring yourself, meditation or gratitude. Life doesn't allow you to on some days, right? But I think the fact that you're aware that you have to anchor yourself is what makes it motivating, because the fact that when I do not anchor myself, I find myself struggling and trying to get clarity on thought, or be nice to people. It's sometimes very difficult to be nice to people on a day you haven't anchored yourself. So the fact that I know that these challenges will come my way if I don't anchor myself is a self motivator. But I always say that, and I say this to my clients as well. Our mind, our lives are like a car going on a road trip. And if I'm going from about 10 kilometers, I would probably have to refuel once. And that refueling is only about a 5 or 7 minute activity, but it lets me ride on for a couple of hours. And if I'm doing a road trip to a cross city road trip, I have to refuel 2 and 3 times a day. And that is what is very important, especially for me. It has worked fantastically well, because the day when I know I have got planned challenges ahead of me, or I've got a very difficult schedule with back to back client meetings. I know that I can only give as much as I have, so I need to refuel myself. And hence that refueling is not only subject to my morning, but in the day I find a 5 minutes or 3 minutes to reset, to breathe in, and just to anchor myself back before I get into the next challenge. So that those I find that that just that becoming aware of the benefits of anchoring yourself, it just helps you and allows you to stay motivated for another day. And even I find myself not being too harsh on myself if I can't do it in the morning, but I'll find some time in the day to compensate and come back to it. So that works for me.
That's beautiful. Refueling. I love the analogy. Dr. Shreya, how would you, take charge of your day if you are having a rushed morning?
Yeah, so it happens many times like that. And also, I have a toddler at home, so sometimes she wakes up early, or sometimes I have to rush. So there were times like I used to feel the urge of perfectionism. No, that's how trap was going on in my life. So it was either it was all or nothing trap. So, and it makes me feel so uncomfortable. I used to think the entire day, because I didn't do it the perfectly, I didn't do it for long, I didn't do it for 10 minutes. That is why I'm feeling so low. That is why I'm feeling so irritated. No, that is why my morning is not good. So that is why I, keep on thinking about all these things. That's how our mind works. Then what I started practicing is a self compassion. I used to tell myself, now I tell myself, like, it's all right, it's okay. No, don't be harsh on yourself. I just learn not to beat myself up. No, so even if I have done it for 2 3 minutes, it's all right, and it's good. At least I have done it for 2 3 minutes. So I, instead of the consistency is actually the more important than doing it for the long time, like a long lengthy meditation. Even if you're doing for a short while, it has the similar effect. So in this way, I train my mind, I reconsole myself, I practice the self compassion, and whenever I get time later in the day, I re-anchor myself again. So basically, the consistency plus the kindness becomes my formula of like getting more happier life. I would love to hear from Shubhangi.
Yes, thank you, Shreya. Uh, the consistency is a real challenge for everyone, because of some other days are like out of nowhere something happens, right? So for me also, my child is waking up early, so might be sometime the day or our plan is get disturbed. But I try to indulge him in my activities. So there is I'm creating a bond with him. So he also feel ki I am teaching him something new, and he's also get interest in doing all those things. And apart from this, sometimes it happen ki it's not going to happen whatever we decided in the morning. And this is the habit, like Velani mentioned, like a 60-day challenge if you're doing consistently. And sometimes it's like suppose you are sick, there is a gap of 4 days, 5 days. Okay, after that you are also feeling ki something is habit is got just disappear, and you're not really, don't worry, your body also don't want to do that again. So it's not about the habit is getting disturbed. It's about coming back, showing up again. And here is a real challenge. If something happened, that is fine. But if you hold yourself and coming show up again and again, then you, whatever you decide, and this formula is in any area of your life will be useful. So this is
Absolutely.
what I'm saying. It will helpful.
I love how you spoke about coming back, showing up, that's so important. And like you rightly said, in any aspect of life, whatever happens, to stand up and show up again, that's so important. Can we go with Neha?
Sure, Pooja, your question reminded me of a very famous quote, which I love, which says, life happens when we are busy making other plans, right? So, missing your morning routine is also one of those things. So, you always need to have a plan B. Have a mini morning routine. Like, let's say, your routine takes an hour, but have an alternate to it. Just do 15 minutes. Do any, like how we spoke about non negotiables, fall out to them at that time. And throughout the day, it's about being mindful. So, mini breaks, or we can call it refueling, like how Melanie said. Mini breaks throughout the day can really help us bring back the calm and anchor us back to our purpose. So, I would also like to say there are certain things that we can do anywhere and everywhere. Just before you head out for a meeting, you're sitting in your car, you just do breathing, right? Three deep breaths, you do box breathing, anything that works for you. You're having a cup of coffee, just do it in a way that it brings you back to your sense of calm. So, what I'm trying to say is, let's assume you've missed your morning routine. Have a plan B, which could be a 15-minute of a mini morning routine. Let's assume you don't have time for that as well. Then try to fix it at some part of your day, which is like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, anywhere. But just try to be mindful of it, is what I would like to see. And then you're not going to be stressed out or feel that guilt of not doing it.
That's so true.
And yeah, Gina, would you like to go next?
Yeah. With me, if I have a rushed morning, an early morning, then I usually wake up earlier so that I can have those few moments of grounding myself. Very rarely, I wouldn't get the time to do all the rituals and my morning, whatever I've planned for the morning. But there are some days, as Neha says, that life happens, and when that happens, I don't beat myself about over not completing my meditation, or not being able to journal, or not being able to do my exercise that I have, my yoga for the day. I just carry on with the day, perhaps in the morning, just to kind of be kind to myself. Maybe I will play some uh, uplifting music, and I will dance to it, just so that I can get into the mode. I mean, not feel rushed. Those few moments, I would give it to myself, and dance to some uplifting music, and the next day continue with my routine. That's how
Brilliant.
I won't beat myself up.
That sounds great. Dancing in the morning is, I think, the best way to lift your spirits. Beautiful. Deekshanya, what about you?
So for me, I really agree that we are gonna slip. Some days we wouldn't be our best, and we're going to do that. We're gonna slip. So something that has helped me and my clients with this thing is one thing is segmentation. Our days are in segments: morning, afternoon, evening, and night. So even if on one segment we miss doing the routine, we can definitely do it on the next segment or the other segment, which allows us to do. So segmenting works. And the other thing that has helped us, like, we don't have to torture ourselves. The goal is to enjoy life. So that way, what I do is like, um, I just go with energy levels. So I have, we might have read about this in Atomic Habits book. So in that they say about the energy levels. One is like low energy level, medium energy level, high energy level. So for each level, we can have a routine, and when we have different routines according to our feeling, according to how we our energy level is, we can stick to that routine instead of torturing ourselves and doing the high intensity things when we have no energy to do things. So these two helps have doing things with energy levels and also segmentation. Yes.
Actually, that's so beautifully put that, not, I think the common thread I get from all the conversations is not to beat yourself up, be kind and compassionate to yourself. And like Deekshanya said, you have to enjoy life after all. So just to know that, okay, you've missed a routine, but you have the rest of the day to refuel, like Melanie said, and you can catch up. Like Gina said, like Neha said, maybe in the car you can do breathing, or maybe you can just dance in the morning and go. So I love the idea of all or something and not all or nothing. So it so happens if you can't do the whole thing, you give up after a few days saying that, oh, I'm not able to do this routine, so let me just stop. Having a plan B, like rightfully you guys said, is so important. Have like a mini routine which you can do on rushed days, which is still something. So all or something mindset, which is spoken about by Anna Dearman, was a beautiful concept rather than an all or nothing. And we have to remind ourselves that we have to be kind to ourselves. It's okay. We are human. We should not be falling into this perfectionist trap. And this also reminds that we've something that we do, or even if it's a little bit, we be doing some form of consistency towards our routine. Being consistent with the routine, even if it's a little bit, it's a form of self-respect. And I used to honestly struggle with this all or nothing mindset myself, that if I couldn't do a full version of the routine, I would sometimes even abandon it altogether and feel guilty to top it all. But over time, I've created this bare minimum routine, like Neha mentioned, and which really helps. Like maybe 3 minutes of just stillness or repeating my affirmation or just the vortex breathing and the Om chanting, which is quicker than doing my entire routine, which takes a lot more time. So, the deeper wisdom I feel is consistency isn't about perfection, it's about returning. And every time you return, whether it's for 2 minutes or 20, you are reminding yourself, I matter. My time matters. And that's how we build self respect. And that's what keeps us going when motivation fades. And that brings me to the next question. Something I've often heard is that the morning really starts the night before. Do you agree? And if so, what's the one evening habit that sets you up for a successful morning? So, would you like to go, Melanie?
Yeah, actually, I learned this from Neha. I remember once having a conversation with her, and she mentioned, the best thing you can do is not do a to-do list. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm quite a to-do list, quite a taskmaster. So I have a to-do list for everything. And by routine, I don't know where I read somewhere that it's best to plan your day the previous day, and so that when you come to your morning, you are well prepared. But I think it backfired for a person like me because I didn't just make my to do list in the night. I thought about my to do list all through the night. So it didn't work for me at all. So, hence, even in the morning, it was so fresh because I was processing it. My subconscious mind was processing my to do list. So, that's one thing that I learned, which is not to do your to do list just before bedtime. So find some time in the day, before you wind up your work to do your to-do list, but not just before you sleep for a person like me who's very task oriented. But I think the important thing that I learned is not only to not do something, okay, but to substitute with something better. So hence my night routine involves spending time with my boys, having those deep conversations with them, evaluating the whole day, and having those very nice chats with them because children open up, when they are getting ready for bedtime, and you have the best conversations with kids at that time. So it allows me to kind of calm myself down, connect with my emotions, feel gratitude for being around the kids. Yes, I do have some days when the conversations are very heated, but for most of the time, it is pleasant conversations with the kids, which helps to kind of set the night routine so that you have, a more refreshed morning. So that has worked very well for me. And I see that, and I always tell parents as well. because the best conversations you can have with your kids is in the night, and those leave you feeling very, very warm. And it's a beautiful place to be, but just before, settling down for the day. What about you,
Amazing.
Shubhangi? As a parenting coach, I'm sure you also have the same views.
Yes, yes, definitely. When I started my coaching journey, the first thing I felt about the waking up in the morning, because previously it was a challenge for me to waking up. So I set my early night routine so I can wake up early in the morning. So the specific time of sleep is needed for everyone. Everyone need is different. For my is like a 7 to 8 hours. I need it. So I started sleeping early. Most important thing, because where we feel, and before sleeping, I don't touch my phone. This is most important because when we scroll the phone, dopamine gets released, and we are not able to sleep. So this is the challenge. So and afterwards, I started the night readers club where people are coming and reading the books, and the even with me, my child started to read a book. This is something good habit started. After that, I close my day. I spend my time with my child. So already he's developed a good habit of reading, and this is something I inspire people to talk about this. Ki when before sleeping, don't touch your phone. So this is something very important because we are having that mindset to just scroll before sleeping. We are not getting a time in a whole day. So this is the most I am feeling myself. So I need this time, and need this time means what exactly? To scroll the phone? No, you can do anything, whatever you feel. Connect with yourself, not the connect with phone and what is observing the other people life, or something is not useful in that way. So this is something I started. My child is also reading a book, and then we have a deep conversation. I tell him a story or something which I want he should understand, because full day they are so in energetic mode. So whatever we are trying to tell them, what to do and not to do, they are not able to absorb in that time. So night time is a perfect time, like Wellness said, to whatever you want to tell, whatever you want from your child, that is the perfect time to talk with them or share the things with them. So this is thing which helped me a lot. The two things, the night readers club and the conversation with my child, and no screen at all. And that's why my morning is so energetic that I felt.
Shubhangi, you also have a reading club in the night, which is going. I remember you mentioning it
Yeah,
to me
yeah, yeah.
earlier. I think that's a beautiful habit to start for your kid and for other people. I mean, people have just lost the habit of reading. Everything is now just the Instagram or scrolling, and they get all the information from the phone. But I think reading a book is so, so important. Beautiful. Dr. Shreya, would you like to go next?
Yeah, yes, yes. So earlier, like I used to plan my day the night before, or making all the to-do list and what I have to do. Then I started noticing that no, it's getting very overwhelming for me. So it didn't work out. Honestly, it didn't work out for me. And I stopped doing that because I have seen that I am getting up more stressed. I'm getting more like overwhelming. It's getting overwhelming for me. So I stopped that, and I have noticed that then I now wake up more peaceful, more calmer, and I just go with the flow. Yeah, I sometimes make my list of like what is urgent, what need to be done, what can be done later. So I divide my tasks, but I don't take a lot of stress on it, like, yeah. And this one evening habit, yeah, I have adopted that. No, I do 3 minutes of reflection. I always do that because like I notice the things, how my day went, how things I have done differently. No, if I have blamed, if I have complained, or if anything I have made excuse, or things I can do differently. Oh, so if I have said something to someone, how can I say it in a different manner? So, make sure that next time I'll do it better in a better way. So this is in this way I declutter my mind, I remove all the stress and the worries. So this evening habit is definitely helping me to making me more aligned and making me more focused on how can I become a better person. So yeah. Like Neha, would you like to add something?
Yes, thank you, Varuni, for remembering. I remember having this conversation that if we do a to-do list in the night, our mind is on an overdrive. It wouldn't let us sleep. And just like I have a morning routine, I even have a shutdown checklist, which is reviewing my day. Like I said, I like to plan in the morning, but then I need to review how my day went and ticking off the happiness of, okay, this is done, this is done. That gives a sense of achievement, which is good to end on a high note, right? And yeah, apart from that, in the night, I like to do gratitude. And I do this with my son now. I do it in journaling for myself, but with my son, I make him say it, okay, tell me 5 things that you would like to thank God for today. And he does say this with me now for the smallest of things. Like he says this, thank you, God, I could play with my friends today. So that's like a beautiful moment that I spend with him. And I tell my husband also, just keep your phone away. These 15 minutes, all of us are having such busy schedules and routine. Just 15 minutes when we're on the bed, right? Especially the time when my son is sleeping, we try to spend those 15 minutes without phone and just talking to each other. So that is one thing that I also look forward to now. And yeah, I have a little checklist, like I said, like a skincare routine, having warm water, and so the mind starts getting those cues. Like now it's time to shut down. So it's all about giving yourself those cues, and it just becomes a habit after that. And now I try to, again, I have a reminder on my phone which reminds me, okay, time to go to bed, time for gratitude, like all of that, till it becomes subconscious habits. But yes, I encourage everyone I speak to, my clients, that doing gratitude in the night, being thankful for the day, the way it went, it really helps. Gina, would you like to add to that?
Uh, yes, I would like to add. I'm not too much of a planner like most of y'all, and perhaps I need to take out some leaves from your books and start some night routine. I am more like once dinner is done and my husband has headed off to bed, he's an early sleeper. I find the house is very peaceful at that point of time, and that's my creative mode. I sit down and do all my creative work at that time, and whatever has been pending from the day, I sit down and do it before, and maybe before I go off to sleep, just listen to some music, and that's about it. And I'm ready for bed, and I don't really plan anything for the next day, the previous day. I'm not, as I said, a planner. I go with the flow. So yeah, that's how I deal with my night routine.
Deekshanya, would you like to go next?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. I really have resonated with the fact that when we do our to-do list the previous morning, it kind of spikes up our fear and races our thoughts. But something I have incorporated into my thing is, instead of creating a to-do list for the next day, I do something called as the looking forward to list. So that is nothing but what would 8-year-old Diksanya want to do tomorrow? That excites her. That makes her happy. So she want to go to movies. She want to talk to her best friend for 2 hours, uninterrupted time with the best friend. She want to just cuddle her mom and have a good time with mom and sister and play with her cat. Things like that. So when I write the to-do list, instead of waking up dreading the next day, I wake up excited, looking forward to that particular event. So because physically we live for the stomach, that one thing we eat. Food is the very more important need. So likewise, for emotionally, something that is important is taking care and embracing our inner child. So every day creating a looking forward to list and embracing what my inner child, my 8-year-old self wants to do tomorrow. That despite being disciplined and all the productive boss girl things, also my inner child is happy that way. So this is what I do.
Oh, that's beautiful, Deekshanya, and something so different I've never heard of before. If you ask what the 8-year-old Pooja wants to do, she would love to sit with the jar of craft cheese and a spoon and keep eating that cream cheese. So I don't think it's a good idea for me to ask that question for myself. But I do agree with Shubhangi that sleep is very, very important, and I'm guilty of that. And I know a few of my fellow coaches here who I chat with in the night, Gina and Melanie. We are up in the night texting each other because I don't know, we seem to be late sleepers, but I do agree with Shubhangi, sleep is so important. And like Neha said, to set a routine so that your body knows that now it's time to sleep. Somehow my body doesn't seem to know when it's time to sleep. But yes, for me, the one evening routine that really works is, I mean, that has worked. I do not make to-do lists, but I do mentally just think about the things I need to do tomorrow, just like the big things. And I remember listening to Sister Shivani in one of her talks, and she spoke about how your last thought that you have before you sleep is what your subconscious mind is playing throughout. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember when, when you're younger, we would see a movie, we would come back home and sleep, and that movie would play in our mind. Or if we've read a book, then that would play on our mind. Or if something really horrible happened a few hours before you slept, that played on your mind. You would dream about it. So I remember Sister Shivani saying that before you sleep, think about the things you want for yourself, what you want to achieve, or the good things or the life you desire, and sleep, because that's what you are then manifesting throughout the night when you sleep with those thoughts. So one thing I do is before sleeping in the night that sets my tone for the next day is I write my wins for the day, my victory log. I write down the things that went really well for me, because that just gives me a boost of my morale, and it helps me feel that I can do anything then. Just the fact that these things went well and tomorrow will be another good day. And I also look in the mirror in the night when I brush my teeth, and I look at myself and I tell myself that I'm very proud of you for all the things you've done today and what you've achieved. And that, okay, some things didn't go well, but you will do it better. And then I tell myself, I love you. And I even go to the extent of kissing the mirror, because I feel that self-love, I know Dikshanya will agree with me, is so important. And when you sleep in the night, knowing that you love yourself, you're ready to take on the day next day. So that's my night routine that helps sets me up for the next day. Another thing I would like to talk about is I've learned that there is no one kind of routine that lasts with you for the rest of your life. Routines evolve as we evolve. So I would like to know from each of you how your routine has evolved over time. So Valini, would you like to go with that?
Yeah. There was this period of my life where I used to be extremely uh, triggered by a lot of challenges, or the rush of the day. And every time I came back from work, um, because I have a bit of an OCD when it comes to seeing things clean in the house. So if I walked into a room and I would see toys around when the kids were small, or books around, I would always tell my kids, the objects speak to me. So as soon as I've entered the house, I find everything is talking to me, and it's cluttering my mind. So would have this routine of, before entering the house, I would pause outside my door and just take 3 deep breaths before entering in. I would tell myself, I want to be the best version to my family today when I enter this house. Because earlier I would walk into the house, and the first thing that I would say is, why is this kept here? Why have you not cleaned this stuff? Why have you not done your homework? It was a lot of whys and why have you not? And that would kind of, bring down my energy, would keep me in a very negative space. So I created this routine for myself, and I encourage all the mothers that I work with to do the same, because it just helps to reset before you enter the house. A simple routine like that. The other thing that, like you mentioned about different routines in different seasons, and now with the festive season around, many of us don't get the time to, do that resetting in the day. But I find that, just waking up a little earlier than the regular time on a busy day, especially a planned busy day, helps me to reset, because I need that still time with myself, that date with myself, that date with God, to be able to move on. So for every season, and every different phase of my life, I think you naturally, figure out what works for you. And because you're so mindful about the joy and the importance of anchoring, you kind of, want to steal ways of anchoring yourself. You want to steal ways of being with yourself. So it definitely, I completely agree with you that we have different routines for different seasons.
I think it's so important that in every phase of our lives, when we are mothers, and then we, suppose you're a working woman, and then as you move on in life, your routine changes. So I guess you have to be very flexible with your routine. Shubhangi, would you like to go with that?
Yes, definitely. Uh, for me, I just ignored my emotional and physical health too much. I took it so granted. And I think 2 years back, I gone through physiotherapy to take my because of I'm doing sitting those I'm sitting and working. So I started a severe backache, and I took it. Just there is if we do the some stretches for 2 minutes even, it strengthen your back. You need that thing for yourself. But when you feel okay, okay, this is my thing, and we just take it granted like anything. So this is something I learned, and I started working on it. So for my emotional and physical well-being, I started doing Sudarshan Kriya, which helped me a lot for my emotional. And there is a breathing techniques are there, so it helped me a lot. And apart from that, I'm doing regularly. If I'm not able to give the 30 minutes of the exercise, anything, I do at least stretches. So minimum, I have to do that. So I choose to do that, and I feel so confident, and my energy is with me. I'm not feeling the back pain and anything. So this is, I think every woman feel the problem because she is working or sitting at doing some work from home. Also, there are so many problems because we just ignored, and it's like a work is so important, and but we whatever we are ignoring right now, in future we have to just focus on that one thing only. If I ignoring my physical health, after 5 years, maybe after 2 years, I have to just sit for and just focus on my health. And at that time, that one thing is only our focus. So just make sure you are just giving importance to every area of your life.
Beautiful. Shreya, Dr. Shreya, would you like to go next?
Yes, yes. So I completely agree that routines evolve and it must evolve because when my daughter was very small, so like by that time the morning were like a survival. So they were quick feeds, getting her dressed and arriving at the hospital. So my routine at that time was more logistical. So as the life shifted and she grew up, so my morning has become now more soulful and intentional. So that, and I think it's perfectly fine. So we can design our routine according to our seasons, according to our like environment. It's I think it's completely okay. So if you are launching something or into a business or a thing, then that we can prioritize into a energy, into planning more. If we have a toddler running, so we can prioritize more on the calmness or recovering ourselves. So what works in one chapter won't always work in the another, and I think that's completely okay. We can add something, we can reduce something. So that's life, I think. Yeah. So it's, for me, it's like, yeah, it's ever evolving. Routines are ever evolving. Yeah.
Lovely. So true. Neha,
Yeah.
what do you think about routines evolving?
Yes, I agree with all that they've already said. I'd like to say keep it flexible. Don't obsess about having anything going so perfect. Go with the flow, adapt to changes. So you need to listen to your body. A 20-year-old Neha was so different than a 40-year-old Neha now. So I can't do what I did when I was in my prime time, as you would like to call it. I would stay up till or party till 4 a.m. and show up to work fresh at 9 a.m. the next morning. But I certainly can't do that now. So our routine has to grow with age. And yeah, and also, just see what phase in life you're in right now, like how Dr. Shreya said. There are sometimes when work takes priority, sometimes family, sometimes your own health. So it's just about finding the harmonious balance, not. I was obsessed about giving 100 to everything at a given time, but sometimes it's a 30, sometimes it's a 70. cumulatively, if you're 100, I think you're doing a fab job.
That's so true. I'm the very give you 100% kind of person, and sometimes it can leave you exhausted.
It's so, yeah, you're just being so harsh on yourself, and you need to tell yourself that, you're doing a great job, you're juggling so many roles. And as women, I think we must take pride in all that we can do.
That's why I've started the victory logs and kissing myself in the mirror.
That was beautiful, actually. That's what even I didn't get the right word, but yeah, like when you say I was ticking off my to-do list, was actually celebrating the small wins
Exactly.
and achievements. Yeah.
Gina, would you like to share something about this evolving routines?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, when my son was younger, my routine involved or was all about him and my husband, breakfast, all of that. But now that I'm an empty nester, um, my husband kind of fends for himself. So I am spending all the time now on myself. All these
Beautiful.
years I have given it to my family, and now I think I deserve some time for myself. And I would say in that way, my routine has changed. Where earlier I used to spend a lot of my time on my family in the mornings. Now I set aside some time just for Gina. And once Gina is done, then the rest of the family comes in. So,
Absolutely. It reminds me of how on the flight, when the air hostess makes the announcements, she says to the mother, first you wear the mask and then put it onto the child. So yes, it's so important that we first wear the mask
yeah.
and make sure we are not surviving, but thriving in our mornings before we attend to the rest of the family. And Deekshanya, what would you like to share about evolving routines?
Yes, this is something I personally have, struggled a lot with. I'll be like, why am I not productive? That week was so amazing. That month I was like so happy. Why am I not happy right now? So this is something like I want things to be very rigid and certain. I want the same outcomes and same routines. But then over time, that I have noticed is life has its own seasons. And then I started to adopt this concept called era. What era am I living in? So for me, sometimes it's the soft girl era, sometimes it's the go getter era, boss girl era, things like that. So currently, I'm in my boss girl era and then working on my company and building my life coach business and everything. So next, something very important for me personally that I've noticed is actually with the seasons, my routines match. So for me, when it is winter, I go so much within and I lock in. That's when it's called the winter arc. It's a common term among the Gen Zs, and we do the great lock in. So we go within instead of doing things outside. We go within and do meditation and lot of inner work and gain the power within us. And then during the summertime, we become the go getters. We whatever the power we had locked in, we try to unleash it in the physical world in during the summer. And when it's monsoon, I'll be this in the soft girl era and be like, only my happiness matters, and whatever my needs are, those little things, those happy moments, that's what I'll be more concentrated on. So according to the actual seasons, I set my routines and everything, so everything goes smoothly. This is my pattern. So for everybody, the patterns will be different, and I really urge everybody to have the flexibility and compassion for ourselves and be self-aware enough to know which era of our life are we actually currently in. So yeah.
That's so beautifully put. And I love the fact that you give such a unique twist to everything. Your perspective is so fresh and unique. I love that. And that's so true because we can't really have the same routine we've had earlier. Like I remember my son, he was a swimmer, state level swimmer, and so he had to go for swimming practice in the morning, and he had to be at 5 a.m. at the swimming pool or at the beach, wherever his practice was. And I had to be up before that, get him ready, and be there at 5. Otherwise, the sir was very strict, would punish him and all. And I remember my mornings were so rushed. I was like a live time bomb, and just anything would trigger me. And I would not know why. And once my children became a little older and I started having a routine, I realized that this is what was missing in my life. And this is why I was flying off the handle, and I was like, this, like she said, a headless chicken, just running around, doing things, trying to just accomplish tasks and do so many things. I was a young mother, 2 kids. I mean, but I feel that anchoring that the morning routine gives you, that comfort, just that grounding, just knowing that things will be okay and you've got things in control, it's mind blowing what a morning routine can do for you. And it's not about perfection, like we already spoke about, it's about aligning yourself. So I must say, wow, what an amazing discussion. I've loved every single moment of it. Got different perspectives. Interesting to see how everyone looks at things differently and how everyone has a different routine. And this is what my takeaway is. Morning routines are personal and flexible. There's no one size fits all. What works for you may not work for me. So it is something that we have to sit and curate for ourselves, knowing the kind of person we are, the season we are in, the era we are in. So that's what matters. And evenings matter as much as the mornings. And small, consistent steps matter than elaborate rituals. Even if we can't do our 1 hour routine, can we do 3 minutes? And most importantly, a morning routine isn't just about structure. It's about an act of self-care, of self-respect, and remembering that you are worth showing up for first thing in the morning. So to all of you who are listening, start small. Pick just one practice, whether it's drinking water, journaling, or 3 mindful breaths, and begin there. Experiment, adapt, create a morning that feels like yours. And as you finish listening, reflect. What's one small shift you can make tomorrow to honor yourself more fully? To my amazing fellow coaches, thank you for sharing your wisdom. And to you, my listeners, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep listening to your soul, keep honoring yourself, your truth, and keep becoming you. This is your host, Pooja Chhabria, signing off. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you very much. It was such a lovely chat.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pooja.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Pooja.
much
This
for
was
being here.
wonderful. And it was an amazing conversation with each one of you. Lots of
Thank
love.
you. It was so much fun.